Hello and welcome back to the Behind the Bricks podcast. So, since we relaunched the podcast, it feels like we've mentioned or we've referenced social media in almost every single podcast that we've done as an important tool or as an important thing that property developers should be focusing on. And so we thought for the subject of this podcast, we'd get in a social media agency. And who better to get in than somebody who is award-winning from which awards were you at?
National Property Awards.
The National Property Awards. And so welcome to the podcast, David.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about, first of all, your agency.
Fantastic. Yeah, so we're an award-winning agency. We specifically, I think we've already mentioned that, right? But we're an award-winning agency.
You're going to get the word award into every single sentence, aren't you?
I'm going to try my hardest
Crush it.
every moment. So we're, award-winning agency. We work with brokers, developers, investors, SME developers, and specifically we utilize social media, anything on the digital side to leverage essentially the tools that we have, increase lead generation, brand awareness, and overall just match business goals and objectives with the marketing strategies that we use to help grow the business, essentially, in short.
And so do you specialize on property or do you work across different industries?
So property and finance is kind of where we've been at for like last 12 months, essentially, is because we've been in the industry, myself and my business partner, Ronnie, we've been in the industry as individuals, and we kind of understand the people, we understand the structure, what they want, their pain points, what they're looking for. And we've been able to match like the creative element of, our videography skills, storytelling with these brands and with these businesses to, differentiate them and make them stand out in the space, essentially.
So that's a great place to start. So why does social media matter to somebody who is investing into property or a property developer?
Yeah, so I mean, property itself is a people's business, right? It's if you look at it, the only reason you would ever do a deal with somebody is because you trust them to a degree and you think that they could actually deliver what it is that you're looking for. So the quickest way to build that trust, is social media at the moment. If we're talking about leveraging tools and leveraging what's out there at the moment and scaling businesses and trying to get the quickest growth, then you've got platforms that allow you to show what your business does, your processes, your credibility, and why wouldn't you utilize that within your business?
But also that personal element, right? So you're not just learning about those processes and the way that their business functions, but like you say, you're building up that credibility, so you actually getting to know somebody and getting to increase the amount of trust that you have in that person. So as the developer or as the property investor, what are they looking for? Why are they using social media? What do they want to get out of it?
The property developers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are they looking for? That's something that they probably have to ask themselves. You mean the ones that are, if they're going to be jumping on socials, what do they want to get out of it?
Yeah, let's say that they employ your agency.
Yeah.
What do they want? They want leads because they want investors to come to them with money to invest into their next project, or they want properties to come across their desk. What is it that most people are looking for?
So for us, what we're noticing, it's a variation of the two. They want to generate leads for like new deals that they're focusing on.
Yeah.
They want investor finance, or they want to do joint ventures. It's either one of those that they're going to be focusing on. I think with us specifically, like as much as we do property and finance, those aren't the only two things we focus on. Mm-hmm. We also work with a few education companies and trying to help them generate leads. And we work with a few renewable energy companies as well. I think the thing that I would probably mention is that predominantly, like a lot of the frameworks or like the systems that we use or how we actually create the content, they can be applied to different industries as well. It doesn't specifically have to be property and finance. So we do sometimes creep outside of the scope of property and finance, but with property and finance specifically, we just understand what will help them build, that trust and credibility quite quickly, especially if they are able to deliver on their promises that they say that they can do. But yeah, building in terms of building trust, it's you can show who you are, what you do, how you do it, and people connect to your personality quite quickly. So if you can be really authentic on camera, it's going to serve you significantly better than trying to be somebody you're not.
So the award that you won, you're probably going to have to correct me here because I might get it wrong, was the Media and Visual Content Creator Award.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, Best Property, Media and Visual Content Creator, yeah.
So why do you think you won it?
So as I mentioned, we have a videography background. We started as videographers and we started from scratch. We didn't go to any schools to learn how to be a videographer or anything, but we have a very incredible attention to detail when we're creating content. Audio, clarity, like story, everything is, well, what the award says is the best, essentially. We don't want to cut any corners. From the beginning of the process, from when a customer reaches out to us, we don't want to work with customers that don't have clarity on what they want.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was mentioning, like social funnels, we have somebody that sits on an appointment set that sits on the account. Anybody who engages in any of the content that you post, right? And like I said, identify first who you're communicating to and then drive content towards that specific person. Use your content pillars, great. Have your appointment setter sitting on the actual account. Now, anybody who engages in the content, drop them a message, whether that's automated, whether that's, you've got an appointment setter sitting on the actual account, and just engage with them. Because,
when it comes to the automated part as well, I think a lot of people, especially in property, what they want is they want that, they want automation.
Yeah.
They want systemization. They don't want to be doing it themselves, right? But I guess the right way to do it is try to automate it. But if that's not working, just pick up the phone, write the DM yourself, communicate with them manually and see if that's more effective, because it's about trial and error with making, optimizing that, right?
Yeah, and I say to every single person, once you start getting really comfortable on camera, once you can put yourself in front of it, you will not go to any other networking events. The reason I say that is because you can make one video, you can do 2,000-3,000 views, easy. Like if you do it correctly, and that's not a big number. 2,000-3,000 is not a big number, but to somebody who's specifically targeting an audience and is communicating to that audience, you can very easily convert a lot more investors, or you can find a lot more deals through making content rather than spending 4 hours to travel to a networking event. You spend 3-4 hours networking one-on-one. And then, I don't know about you, but I've very rarely actually done any business with anybody at networking events. I always, they always come to me after I post a piece of content or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can, like I said, with the content, you can tap into pretty much majority of the space that you're in if you're creating content, correctly with what I just explained.
And that's of any motivation to create content, to make sure that you're creating a plan, to make sure that you understand who you're trying to communicate with and that your message is communicating with that person. If there's any motivation that you need, not going to a networking event ever again is that motivation, right? Because even with all that time and effort that you put into it, very few people actually enjoy going to networking events.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's, the value exchange in a networking event is very minimal. There is no value exchange. It's just a pure case of going in and this is what I do, this is what you do. All right, great. Well, what now?
And when you understand, like the 911 thing that you explained before, when you understand that 911 and you've got to provide that content before you get salesy at networking events, that process that we understand that humans want in order to know somebody before they buy from them, you don't really get that at a networking event, because everyone just wants to talk about, right, what can you do, what value can you give me? Well, I don't know, because I don't know you yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And the same the other way around, whereas in social media you've got much more control over that process.
100%.
Because another one of the problems that a lot of people have is when they go to these things or when they're on social media, they're trying to sell too quickly, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. The best one at networking events is when you meet someone for the first time and they're like, boom, business card.
Yeah.
I don't even know anything about you just yet. Like, why? You can feel, nobody says it, but this is the truth. Like, there's some people that don't even speak to you, they just give you a business card. What am I meant to do with this?
Do you see the equivalent of that on social media?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of the clients that approach us, I say not a lot, but there's clients that approach us and they're like, I want to turn this into a sales machine. I want to start making a lot more money. I'm like, yeah, but you do realize like social media is the equivalent of real life. There's a certain amount of value you have to give to the marketplace. And once you've given the value, only then are you eligible to make sales and start actually transacting from the platform. Otherwise, if you're just going on, I can do this, yeah, but you've not shown anywhere. Nobody else is saying that you can deliver a really good service. So that's why, word of mouth is probably the strongest marketing tool out there ever existed, right? if you can get somebody to give you testimony and just put it on your platform, just have it in your highlights, just put it in one of your posts, you're probably going to increase your chances by 50 to 70% at the bare minimum. Because now you've got somebody else singing your praises that you can deliver.
But again, do that without the sell. Don't rely on that content and then just be sell.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do it just as like a credibility piece.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at the most successful content creators in the space, in the world, they never really focus on selling much. They just focus on building the audience, providing the value, and then they plug in there. But first you need to build that. From the beginning, you need to build up some kind of presence. You can't just off the cuff open an account and then boom, this is what we do, this is how we can do it. Sale. You know, you need to have a little bit of common sense with it as well. It's not just going to be a rock and roll type of show.
So when we first came into this studio, when we were just setting everything up, we had a chat about our equipment, because we're recording this, and we've recorded this for about the last six or seven on iPhones instead of using digital cameras. So what about the quality of the content that people put out there? They might have the right everything, the right plan, the right idea, who they're trying to communicate with. How important is the quality of what they're putting out?
I would say it's very important still. I would say you need to have I'll just keep it short in this sense, and I'll touch on that. You know, the best way to actually find out what works for you need to find somebody within your space at the moment. Go on a Chrome extension called SortFeed. SortFeed organizes all of their posts. You can select how many posts you want them to organize in terms of how many likes they get, how much engagement, comments, like their most popular pieces, right? And you can simply replicate everything that they've done. Now, the reason I've brought this up is because you will notice that they will probably have really good lighting. They'll probably have really good audio quality, and they'll have a clear frame shot of their face at the beginning. They'll have a really good hook. They'll have a really good value in the main body, and then a probably really good call to action, or they just cut it off. But the retention in that video is going to be really high because they put a lot of effort into the actual production of it. So they'll focus on the actual lighting. They'll focus on the audio quality and the visual quality as well. So all of that comes into sync. You know, like if we were doing this podcast in the dark and it was meant to be recorded on camera, you're not really going to be enjoying it if it's in the dark, is it? Like, you know, pitch black, or like you can barely see our faces. It's probably going to agitate the eyes a little bit. So when you take into consideration what is pleasant for a human, it's hearing really clearly, seeing really clearly. It's, you know, all of these intricate cuts that you're making in your video. If you're cutting your sentence off midway, it's almost like, you know, people aren't going to really, it's going to agitate somebody.
Yeah.
So you just need to look at what kind of grinds your gears a little bit, and then just not do it when you're producing your own content, and just get straight to the point as well. Nobody wants to see you set up the camera. They just want to see what you're going to say.
So what if you could only choose one thing? You've either got really good quality, or you've got really good consistency.
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say quality.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'd rather have a sporadic poster with really good, like, recording quality, and let's say the content's the same.
Okay.
The content's the same, but you've got quality of recording, quality of production, rather than consistency.
Oh, that's such a good question. From what I've seen, I think quality is a big one.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't have to be on cameras. I'm not saying it has to be on cameras, but
what do you mean by cameras? Like pay for DSLR cameras?
Yeah, mirrorless cameras, or like professional cameras. They are still very useful. You need to know when to use them. But
an iPhone 16, like we're using to record this.
iPhone 16 is good. Yeah, it's great. You can make content on it. Like, I think that's the way they even design phones now going forward, is for camera quality. You have 48 megapixels in 3 different cameras on your phone, like on the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. 48 megapixels is insane. You know, that's a lot of quality that you can. So if you've got the quality capabilities, you might as well use them. But I think quality is important because there's a psychological retention on social media, and the psychology behind it is that the content that is clear, you know, even if the production is really good, when I'm saying production, I mean if it's cut really well. Let's say the context is the same, but the way it's structured in terms of post-production, so you know, there's no gaps in between your speech. And Instagram's got a feature now where you can remove silent gaps when you're editing a reel. So it must tell you something. It must tell you that they are also understanding that people don't want to wait for gaps. They just want the information.
So you're not talking about recording it in a professional studio with professional lighting.
Yeah.
You're talking about just having a decent level of decent level of quality that's thought of, that's removing those gaps, that is well lit, but maybe not professionally lit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what I think will make the content stand out a lot more. Because like I say all of this, but even my own content, I'm not. It's gonna sound crazy, but I'm not the most consistent person. I don't post every day, but when I do post, it's really valuable, and the quality is really good, and it gets me really good engagement. Now, there is pieces that aren't as good of quality, but they still perform really well. But still, you need to. You know what it is? Not everything is going to work for everyone. Some people get away with posting really bad quality content for years, and it works for them somehow. Maybe people see it more authentic. But you just need to figure out what works for you. And if you look at what I just said about sort feed, you're going to notice that there's different formats in how you structure your actual content. There's different hooks, different angles. There's so much data that really goes into it. Where you position your camera, is it high? Is it low? Is it in the middle? Are you starting? And once you actually start looking at the creative element, the data points at which make a video really good change drastically from person to person, from industry to industry. And like with us, because we have this creative element, it allows us to, well, number one, for ourselves, when we produce content for ourselves, stand out a little bit more. And then for our clients, it's the same thing. But yeah, for me, I would say quality is still very, because at the end of the day, if your content is bad quality, it's a huge reflection. Like, we judge first with what we see, right?
Absolutely.
So if your whole page is just poor quality, you've never tried to improve it, it's going to say a little bit about your business as well. It's a huge reflection. It's the same as dressing. You know, if you're always in a tracksuit in the office, you're not making a good impression to everybody in the office. And it's the same. You take the same kind of, idea and put it onto social media. If your content is hideous, like, you've taken no effort to try and match what's currently working in the space, or like what's working in general on socials, it's going to be a huge reflection of, I think, you as your business. Even it might not be, right? But I just think, as humans, that's just what we're going to judge. We're going to see, with our eyes, low quality footage. It's not edited properly. It's just random, off the cuff, whatever. No planning behind what you're going to say. No planning behind the value. And you can't expect to see a result from that. You know what I mean? You're gonna need to spend a little bit of time planning it. But it's worth it, because you can spend 2-3 hours doing it, but you hit a lot more people. As in, I say hit, you reach a lot more people instead of spending that time networking. And the thing is, with content, you need to make it once, and it's a evergreen asset. You don't need to you can recreate, but you don't need to. You post it once, and in 2 years, people can still see it. Whereas you go to a networking event once, you can't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But the perfect situation would be good quality, good content.
Yeah.
Consistently posted.
Yeah. Perfect situation. Yeah. Good quality, and just making sure that the value is really good as well.
So let's say that all those things have been done.
Yeah.
And then I guess this is going to come more down to the sales funnel, but you can put all of that effort in up front. As soon as that lead comes through, as soon as that inquiry comes through, that then has to be jumped on straight away, right? Because the quicker you get onto that lead, the better your chance of converting that lead.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And you need to, I think most people's misconception in business, which is shocking, because there's people that have been in business for 25, 30 years that I've spoken to, and they're like, well, we get leads, but they're not converting. I'm like, yeah, but do you have a sales process in place? And they'll say, we do. They run me through it, and I'm like, no. But you expect people to give you money after you do this? I'm like, it doesn't work like that anymore. Like, I don't know if it's ever worked like that. Maybe to a degree a couple of years back, but not now. Now you need to have your sales process in place. You need to discover what their pain points are. You need to understand why are you here? Why do you want to work with me? That's one of the questions I would ask. Why me? Why do you want to work with us? Like, what made you decide to work with us? And then you understand, number one, it gives you a little bit of leverage to understand what you've done right. And you can hone in on that specific thing. So if they're like, well, we like your quality, then you can just focus on, showing them the quality that you can deliver. And if you don't have that sales process, you're not going to convert anything. I mean, you probably will, but you won't grow. and scale your business.
You're not going to convert as many people as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because you're generating good leads because you're creating good content consistently. But then you still need, that's not enough to convert somebody. You still need somebody that's going to convert them, right?
Yeah.
One question that I could have asked you a minute ago that I forgot about, for people that are starting up, for people that want to get more into social media, want to upscale the social media stuff that they're doing, what would you recommend as like an editing suite?
Yeah, so starting up and they just want to get into it. I mean, now there's so much out there. You've got like Caption AI. You can just make all of your captions on there. I would, if you're planning to do something long term, I would just learn how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's not the most difficult thing to understand and use. And now you've got AI and plugins and all of these tools that you can put together for Premiere Pro. It's a little bit more advanced, don't get me wrong. It's a bit more of a professional software, but if you're going to do something, you might as well just go ahead and learn it for the long-term sake. And then that way, I mean, you know, if you then get your own media team, you could tell your media team how to use the software and what you want from it specifically. So it gives you a little bit more leverage power in your growth as well. But I would probably say, yeah, you can use CapCut. Instagram has a new app for editing content as well. There's so many out there, but main one is, get some captions on your stuff as well. Like, you know, I think it's like the new norm now, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Is that because more people watch it without the sound on, because they're like watching it on the bus, the train, in the car, at work? Yeah,
so I think Alex Hormozy said this. It's when you listen to the information and you read it, it goes in and it cements in your head a little bit better. I don't know what the actual percentage is. I don't know how accurate the percentage is, but apparently you can retain the information a little bit more better. And I think he was the kind of one of the starters of the captions on the video. So I think it's just the new norm, because it's the same as, when you watch a movie, some people like the captions, some people don't. But if you put them on, it doesn't affect anybody. And I think you've got the whole thing. Some people are like, they're better listeners than they are visual learners, or like, so when you kind of have the two,
but cover both off.
Yeah.
Everyone wins.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you watch Alex Hormozy on the Chris Williamson podcast? Is that where you've seen him?
Yeah. So Alex Hormozy, he's pushing out so much content at the moment. It's so hard to keep track. Like, I don't know the actual figures, but if he's doing it, you need to just think about it this way. If Alex Hormozy, right, he's doing what, 100 million a year, if not more. If he's pushing out content every single day, it can't be that low of an ROI activity.
Yeah. I guess, as well, for people that are a bit older and less familiar with social media, I guess that's the kind of stuff that Richard Branson did.
Yeah.
Back in the day, right, he would do these things that would get him on the news, that would get him in front of people. These, like attention-seeking things, like... what's it called? Zip lining off a big building, flying Virgin flags, or just he would do stuff to get him in front of people, so he's present in people's minds. And now we've got more control over who we pay our attention to because of social media. It's putting out that value that makes people want to come back to you to get something that benefits them. But then you earn the right, therefore, to present your product to those people because you've given them that value. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think the thing is that social media has a whole data side to it, right? But if you look at the actual platforms themselves, they have algorithms that push specific content creators and content to people with that same interest. So you're not even shooting in the dark anymore. Before it was like you were just making content and hopefully someone picks it up, then they follow you.
Yeah.
Now your content is being pushed to those who are interested in what your content is.
Yeah.
And then what I was going to say as well, I don't know if you've noticed yourself, but on the actual platforms, you will, at different times of the day, you will get different types of content.
I've not noticed that.
In the morning, if you have a look at your discovery and your feed in the morning, in the afternoon, and then the evening, it's going to be completely different.
Really?
That's something that I've noticed myself. I don't know if that's like an official update, but it's something I've noticed, and then people around me have like same kind of
And that's
pattern.
Again, that's a bespoke thing based on the stuff that you've looked at in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you think about how much data they've already collected over the years, it's insane. Like they know what they know everything that you're interested in at what periods of time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it drives deep into emotion, how you're feeling in the moment. Are you upset in the evenings? Well, then let's send them let's push some more sad content into their feed. And, once you think about it like that, you stop thinking about who's going to see this content. Somebody will see it. Even if it's 500-600 people, somebody will see the actual content itself. So, yeah, I think going back to what you're saying about the older generation and how you can kind of, the thing is I don't know, you don't really want to be an older person doing viral TikToks, right? You want to provide some kind of value, and you're seeing people from all age groups, all backgrounds. They're finding their feet by just producing content in the first place. And then they're going to figure out, okay, cool, well, this suits me a little bit more. And you can see it over and over again with so many like older creators. I think Dan, there's one guy called Dan. He's an American dude. I completely forgot his name now. He's like mid-50s, a little bit older. So I don't know if you classify that as older generation, but like he's producing content about his business, how he's managed to, how he's managed to grow it, some of his failures, how you can become a better person, all of this stuff. So everybody has some form of wisdom and knowledge that they can share to their audience, and then build a new audience as time goes on. So I think age is just an excuse, and so are most things. Like, it's all going to be just an excuse, like, oh, I'm too old. I know people that are too young. And it's the same thing I've heard my whole life, and I've seen my whole life, and I've thought about my whole life, but I've never let myself be limited by it. Like, I could say I'm too young to have this conversation. Why doesn't somebody who's 35 and been on social media for 20 something years do it?
You're always too something, right?
Yeah. You just need to eliminate that kind of mindset. If realistically, like, it comes down to this: if you're trying to grow your business, you've just started it, or you've already had your business for many years, and you want to scale and grow it, but let's say you don't have the budget, or you do have the budget, you need to use social media, like, period. You can do other things as well, but highest leverage activity is creating content. You know what I mean? If you do want to grow your business right now, because there's so many businesses out there that have no online presence at all. They've just been able to scale, like, grow and scale word of mouth. And there's a couple of companies that we've been in discussions with that are like 5 to 8 million revenue, all word of mouth. They got the contracts, that's great, but they're looking to scale and grow now. Well, you can go to events, you can host your exhibitions, have your stands, but realistically, if you spend the same amount of money and time creating content, you probably see a significantly better result with your efforts, instead of just like doing the old traditional kind of style of marketing. Something
that's just dawned on me, because of the algorithm choosing when it shows you content, is that why it's not so important to be consistent? Because the algorithm will present your value-based information in front of somebody when it's right for them to receive the value base. Maybe they're looking at holidays in the morning, so the algorithm's going to shove them holidays and like that aspirational stuff in the morning. Maybe they're more into education in the afternoon, so the algorithm is more likely to show your content to them in the afternoon. So it doesn't actually matter when you make it, because it'll be presented at the right, so long as you are presenting updated content.
I think times. So you're talking about like times, posting times.
Absolutely.
Posting times. Your account has a feature where it shows you where your followers are most active. So think about it, like, if you're making content for the US base, right? They're gonna have a different time zone, so you'd want to post when they are most active. So you just need to have a look at the data. Like most of it is data now. It's all numbers. If you look at it, right, the content that you're posting, how do you know if it's good content? Well, you look at the analytics, you view the retention, they give you charts and they show you where most of the retention is held and then where it drops off. And then you can mark it against the time in the actual video. So if you're 36 seconds in and you see a massive drop off, then maybe you've said something, you've changed the frame, you've completely changed the subject. There you go, that's your problem. And then a lot of it is just pure data. So when I said the biggest problem is conversion, like tracking the metrics, it's literally just that. It's looking at the actual data and spending a bit more time on it. And then you're going to be, you'll know where you're going wrong. You understand, is your hook even not capturing them at the beginning? And if your hook isn't capturing them, then they're probably not watching the rest of it. So, but yeah, in terms of posting, your account gives you a clear insight into when your followers are most active and when that activity is most prominent on your actual accounts.
So just go with that.
3 to 6 p.m. UK. If you got a UK audience, I say 3 to 6. 6 to 8 p.m.
Right. Okay.
Typically the most active, where you get the most reach. People finish work, going home on the trains. If you come to London, then you go on the underground, and you see pretty much every single person on their phone. So, yeah, they're scrolling and watching your content. So you need to leverage that as much as possible.
So we talked about we've covered quite a lot on social media.
Yeah.
If people were going to stop listening to this, come to the end, and take one thing away with them,
Yeah.
what do you think it should be that will benefit them?
So one thing they need to take away from this whole thing, very interesting question. Let me have a bit of a thought about it.
Yeah, no worries.
I think, look, the biggest thing that, the biggest thing people need to take away is just ask themselves, like, how willing they are to grow their business. And I'm just talking overall now. Like I'm saying, we got social media as one side of it all, but I think we spoke a little bit earlier about some of the other activities that people can conduct, cold calling being one of them.
Yeah.
If you're starting at the beginning, nobody wants to cold call. They don't see it as a high ROI activity, but realistically, it's one activity that will, like, it'll help you build tough skin in business, especially if you're just starting off. And all of the no's that you're going to get, all of the rude comments you're going to get are actually going to build you up to be a better business person. And the reason why I say you have to think about where you want to be in business is because I think we mentioned it, it's not going to be easy. Content and social media is not going to be easy. By the way, I don't know if I've made it sound easy or like, anything like that, but you're going to just need to start and see where it takes you. If you don't, you're just never going to know otherwise. And if you put your emotions and your ego in front of your objectives, you're not going to get there faster. You're delaying the process of what could be, essentially.
Yeah.
So if you just ask yourself, look, in the next 12 months, I want to be here, XXX, whatever, like you mentioned, it's not about I want X amount of deals or properties, or it's
about loving the process.
Right.
And going through the process, right?
Exactly. So let's say you tell yourself, I want to create at least a piece of content a week and post it. Give yourself 12 months and see where it takes you. That's the only thing I can't tell you it's going to take you to the moon, or, it's not going to take you anywhere. Try it. Keep testing. Try different formats. Keep observing. Have an open mind. Get really creative.
Be prepared to fail as well, I guess, in that.
Oh, yeah.
Some of your posts are going to fail, but as long as you're open to learning all the way through that.
But then again, what is failure on social media? Is it having 2 likes and somebody else gets 40,000 likes? There's no real failure in it. You're always going to get more benefit than you're going to fail or lose, because you're still showing what you're doing. There is going to be some form of benefit. If it's not, directly relating to your business, you're going to grow in confidence. You're probably going to become a better communicator. You're going to be able to get a bit more creative now. There's so many benefits to it. So yeah, nothing to lose with it, if I'm going to be honest. But that's probably the biggest takeaway. Just ask yourself where, and if you're willing to dive in the deep end, and nobody's stopping you, essentially.
Okay, I've got some quick questions for you now. All right, Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
TikTok or YouTube?
YouTube.
Why is that? Can I guess?
Go on.
Wider audience.
Yeah, but average watch time on YouTube is 6 minutes. Average watch time on short form content is 6 seconds. So you have 6 more minutes to build up trust and credibility with somebody.
Does that alter based on the type of content that you're creating as well? So you create different content for YouTube, and that's why it has a longer watch time.
Yeah, 100%. Different structure, different format, more value packed, and it's just like people watch you for a longer period of time. You can build a lot more trust.
I definitely go to YouTube to watch longer videos, right? I want for educational things, whereas you go to TikTok to just sort of be inspired by something to then back it up on YouTube, I guess. Yeah,
and essentially. And if you have the perfect funnel setup, so if you have your YouTube in sync with your short form platforms, everything works perfectly. So if your funnel, let's say you have a diagram of how it all looks. Let's say you funnel people into, let's say if you don't have much credibility, you funnel everybody from your Instagram into your YouTube. They watch you a bit longer than your YouTube description has your landing page, and by the end of it, they go through that whole process. They're going to know who you are, what you do, how you do it. They trust you. They like your voice, like your glasses, all of that stuff. And
If I had £100 to spend on my marketing budget every month, where should I put it?
I would probably put it into ads. It's not a big budget. £100 doesn't get you far, but you can test out if somebody bites your offer, your creatives. You can test a little bit. It's not huge. £100 is nothing. Like, I don't know how far.
All right.
But yeah, but I'd I'd probably put it into ads. I might get slayed for that, but I'd probably just test.
Okay, go deeper though.
Yeah.
Because ads in different places cost different amounts.
Yeah.
So do you go for cheap ads that maybe generate less quality leads, or do you go for more expensive ads that create better quality leads? And what is that platform that you put it into?
Yeah, so Meta, Google, those are kind of the main ones that we use. Specifically with Meta, you can, you can set your budget. So you can still set your budget. They're going to be, with the ads on Meta, you can, you set your budget. The cost per lead, it's only, because we do conversion tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm going to get technical. Our conversion tracking metrics we place the pixel in a place where, okay, let's say we have a form and the form asks how much do you have to invest, and the highest three numbers are 60,000, 70, and 80. We'll put the pixels on the highest figures, so we know that whoever just watched that piece of content, and then whoever went on the actual form or on the landing page, selected that option, they are our target audience. So we can consistently market to that type of audience. So our cost per lead will only trigger once that conversion happens there.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get me wrong, you can keep burning your money and then you see no result, but the one person who does end up going for what you're tracking for, you will just keep marketing to them. So yeah, it's worth.
You've got a better chance of converting the absolute target audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So £100, yeah, ads. That's what I would do. It's not a big budget. You guys need to increase the budget.
Stop rubbing it in.
Just a budget.
Realistically, if I'm starting off in property, realistically, how much do I need to spend on ads per month?
You can spend nothing on ads. You can learn how to edit. Most of these things you can learn yourself, and there's no cost. The only cost is your time. If you do have a budget of £500, then maybe get an editor, and then just push more volume out so that you can edit.
Okay, so you're not spending your money on ads. If you've got £500 per month, get an editor and put more content onto your feed.
Yeah, if you're gonna go down that route, just for me. So with the ads thing, context was like, we're already pumping out content.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to test our offering to see who bites it fastest with our budget.
Yeah.
But if I've got £500 a month, I would probably just outsource a bit of the work and put more work out, or like more content out. It increases your chances of getting a hit, and you can improve quicker. You can have more output. But yeah, I would probably do that with about £500 a month. But yeah, how much you should allocate in terms of spend? Well, it depends how quick you want the result. If you have a couple of thousand, then put a couple of thousand in and see what happens.
What's the best ROI that you've achieved from a campaign?
So yeah, specifically in property, we have a client that we've been working with. I think it's about 6 months, all organic content that we've posted for them, and we've managed to collect about £120,000 of cash. Now that's just for their sourcing fee. That's not including, that's like the development side of their business as well.
Wow.
And we added about £1.5 million into their pipeline for investors. So,
wow.
Like I said, we generated probably 75. It's a little bit more. It's like 82 leads now for people who just want to invest with them. And yeah, each investor is worth about £20,000. So that's the sourcing fee, project management, and yeah, now we just have to find the deals to collect that cash.
And so in terms of scale,
yeah,
that person, that developer, has been able to. I mean, you've fast forwarded their scaling by years.
Oh yeah.
If they were just doing that organically, if they were doing that themselves, it would have taken. They'd have hit the same numbers, but it would have taken them far, far longer, right?
Well, yeah, because they would need to put the systems in place, the teams in place, maybe train them, because marketing like teams, I don't know if they know how much about the specific strategies that we use. But yeah, it would take them a little bit of time to kind of put all into place and even get to know the know-how, know what type of content to post.
Mm-hmm.
It will take them a little bit of time, but yeah, I think even with that, probably as we're speaking, those figures are probably a lot higher than I just mentioned. So
it's still going on.
Oh yeah, we're still running the campaign. It's quite insane. Like we're getting new leads coming in every single day. People looking to sell their properties to this client specifically as well. So yeah, it works quite well with them because they do everything end to end.
Yeah. From
the sourcing, project management, the development, literally everything, and then they'll manage the property at the end. So I'm saying, when I'm saying 120 cash collected, this is purely sourcing and project management. This is not the development. This is not then the management.
The management fee at the end, yeah.
Yeah, nothing like that. So probably need to update those figures.
They must be very happy with you.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, very happy indeed.
And so where can everybody follow you and follow the agency
Yeah.
on social media? What's the best platform to see your content?
So yeah, best platform. So 7media.agency is actually our Instagram handle, and it's also our website. And then myself, it's DAWIDGUJA is my Instagram handle. I spell it because normally people can't spell it when I say it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can connect with myself, and then Ronnie as well. Ronnie's my business partner. So Ronnie Koldashi, you can find us as well on Instagram and connect with us. And yeah, if anybody needs any form of advice or anything like that, we'll be more than happy to share it as well. And just advise people the best on how they can get started if they're struggling, where to start from. But just start.
Just start.
Yeah. Pick up your phone, start recording, post, and the biggest benefit of if nobody knows you is that nobody cares. So once you get a good following, then you probably have to be a bit more cautious about what you say, how you say it, and structure things a little bit more better that way.
That's all great advice. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming on the podcast, and thanks for sharing everything that you've done so far with 7 Media. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.